My degree was in modern history from the University of St Andrews. I did an MA, a master's degree in modern history. Well, when I was about 15, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. And my father, but I was very interested in current affairs. I used to watch documentaries and current affairs programs a lot. And my father thought that I might be interested in journalism as a career. So he gave me a book. And the book was by a famous foreign correspondent called James Cameron, who wrote about his life as a foreign correspondent in the 1950s and 60s. And I found it very inspiring. I thought it'd be a great job. After my degree, well, I did some work at university, but I didn't work for the university newspaper. I used to do reports for the local newspaper. I used to do sports reports. I realised I needed something to show employers, but I didn't really want to work in student journalism. After my degree, I went abroad because I thought I wanted to do just something different. So I worked in France for a year, came back, and then applied for every single job that came along. And I got very lucky. And I went for some interviews, and I got a job on an evening newspaper, a daily newspaper in Preston, in Lancashire, in the north of England. And I had a great time, 5 years learning my trade. It was a fantastic place to start, so I learned all the basics there. So I was very, very lucky, because it's always been very competitive. But what got me the job was, no doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that what got me the job was my single-minded determination to become a journalist. When I was trying to get a job in journalism, I would say maybe it was even more competitive because you didn't have so many media outlets. On the other hand, there probably wasn't. There weren't really many journalism courses. It was a kind of mysterious industry, and it still is to a degree. There's no real career structure, and you just have to knock on doors. And the reason is kind of cultural, because if you're going to be a journalist, you've got to find things out. So when I was trying to get into journalism, it was like a bit of a secret how you got in. So I used to read a lot. I used to ask lots of people for advice. I think now the career is a bit more formalised. I think there are far more openings. And I also think that the digital skills, some of the things that I train here in Newcastle, are becoming much more important. So I think the biggest difference is the need for probably a much broader range of skills, like you being able to make video, being able to take photographs, being able to build a website, understand social media. All those things are becoming a key part of a journalist's job. Motivation for people to do this course is often very different, and you'll see that when people leave, they do lots of different things. Some of our graduates go on to work in advertising, communications, public relations. They're all kind of media related. But as the years go by, I think we've all noticed, number one, the quality, the calibre of the students is going up. We get students who are would appear to be much more committed to a career in journalism. So the type of student we get has changed a lot, and that's a good thing. And this year in particular, we've all been talking about it. It's been very impressive, and people are really quite focused. I think partly it seems to be quite an exciting and interesting way to make a living. It seems like a great job. If you want to be an accountant or you want to be a lawyer, it kind of doesn't seem that exciting. But even though actually journalism isn't glamorous at all, even I know top TV presenters who laugh when people say it must be very glamorous. It's not. It is just a job. But it has this attraction, and I think it always will. Partly because of the movies, partly because of books. We love this idea that we're going to be a journalist and go out and change the world. The reality is when you get into the job, it's like any other job. You need skills, you have to play politics in companies, You know, you work long hours. In the early part of your career, you're not very well rewarded. So it's like any other job, but it has this attraction which it's always had, and that will never change. That's why you get so many people wanting to be a journalist. And that's a real interest in the world around you and a real desire to tell people about it. A real curiosity, a real desire to tell stories. And that is, some people have that, and I think all journalists, however long they've been in the job, still have that desire to find things out and tell people about things. I think the other qualities, I think they're kind of skills that you need, but fundamentally you need that determination to find things and tell people about them. That's really what journalism is. You see, I believe in print. I think the print will survive. I think it will always. I think there are times when people like print, and I think there are things you can do in print. I think my generation particularly, I like print. I like printed newspapers, and I'm the same as Paul. I think the really interesting things coming up are, firstly, that the way people consume media is changing very, very quickly. So if I look at my son who's 18, you know, his life is his phone. Everything in his life almost happens on his phone. So during the day, when he's watching telly, when he's doing it's all on his phone. There comes a point where he cuts off from that, and he does pick up books. He likes reading books, and he will pick up a tablet to watch some TV. But those are very clearly segregated. But the amazing thing that I think now is just how people are so connected to their phones. It's unbelievable. The latest statistics from official statistics in this country show that something like over 60% of people now get most of their news on mobile. The really interesting thing is where it goes next, because there are new technologies coming down the line, wearable technology. There's the Internet of Things, where the internet will connect to physical aspects of your life. So who knows, you know, one day I could walk in the house and I'd just say I want the news, and I'd just move my hands and it'll appear on the wall, or, you know, it'll appear in, you know, as I'm in the bath, it might be there. You know, I don't know and that's the big challenge for publishers is, you know, what's next? What's coming down the line? Because I've been training this for some years now, and the speed of change at the moment is remarkable, how quickly things change.